to reach to any definite conclusions. The investigation by AAIB is still not complete. The final investigation report will come out with root causes and recommendations. So that's the statement come from the AAIB, the authority that's investigating the AI-17 crash in Ahmedabad. Amit Bhardwaj joins me at the moment. Amit Bhardwaj, the fact is that the AIB came out with a report, didn't do any press conference, put out the report well after midnight, and particularly the manner in which they put out select conversations between the pilots have led to speculation. So why doesn't the AIB conduct a press conference to once and for all settle all doubts? Why is it allowing this speculation to grow? How is it responding? Why now? Why couldn't it come out clearly with the facts? What is stopping them from doing so?
Rajdeep, two aspects to it. Number one, obviously about AIB not holding the press conference. So for that matter, we can say that AIB is the probe agency. Let them not come in the public fore. But where is Minister of Civil Aviation Ram Mohan Naidu? You know, after holding that one press conference, there has been not a single word coming from Ram Mohan Naidu besides one or the other Janata bites, common bites that he has been doing, that to outside the national capital. And the MOCA secretary has not held any press conference either in this particular regard. So that has definitely opened the floodgate for the international media to play out as they wish and make insinuations the way they want to do. Second fact is that, you know, it's not the first report of the WSJ which has prompted the AIB to make out this particular statement, but rather ever since that AIB report came out, you know, what we have seen is that, you know, headlines have been made in a manner and fashion such that confusion between pilots led to AI-171 crash against AIB report, when factually this was an absolutely incorrect headline to go with. But that's what a section of international media has done as well. So that is a big point question. The pilot associations from India as well as global pilot associations have time and again asked, appealed, urged, you know, media houses to not make insinuations, pinning down the responsibility on these pilots who are not there to defend themselves. And if we say that pilots are under scanner, so is Boeing. You know, nobody has given clean sheet to Boeing and nobody has given a clean sheet to Air India, or for that matter, the company which manufactures the engine for Boeing and the compliance authorities as well. So definitely there are loopholes, as you suggested, that, you know, that there's a text or conversation between those two pilots, pilots,
you know,
like from the Uproar. So that is in context. Yes.
No, the point, Amit Bhardwaj, I want to make, you're saying no one has given a clean sheet to Boeing or Air India. Why doesn't the AIB say that very clearly? By paraphrasing only one little aspect of that conversation between the pilots on the cutting off of the fuel switches, they have allowed this speculation to grow. Why doesn't AIB either release the entire cockpit voice recorder as some of the pilots are demanding, or make it very clear that there is no clean sheet given to Boeing or Air India?
Rajdeep, that is something that AIB, I think, would ponder upon now, because that text is not without a context, because there was a case of transition of fuel control switches made in that report, and the focus of that report was about as to how this transition led to the crash. And that is, the text has been released in that context, and now several inferences and interpretations are being made out from that particular text. So yes, that question is being asked, that why not put out the entire transcript of the CVR which has been received, or at least from the timing from which the flight took off and till the timing of crash. That would have actually made the picture even more clear. So possibly there could be a technical aspect, you know, a scope for more speculation, more inferences, or rather beyond context interpretation. That could have also stopped the AIB from making the entire CVR from that that particular time zone being released. But definitely it has opened the scope for floodgate of misreporting, as we mentioned. Back to you.
Okay, Amit Bhardwaj, for telling us how the AIB has had to step in with damage control. Remember, the Wall Street Journal report seemed to suggest that it was the pilots, or one of the pilots, who had manually cut off the fuel switch that could have led to the engine failure, which in turn led to the crash. Clearly, the international media now under the scanner for its role there. Let me turn there to the other big story. Remember the Bengaluru Stampede also last month. Gang wars in that state have reached Patna hospital. Shooters were caught on CCTV entering a ward armed and then fleeing after murdering a convict. This is not the first, but the latest in a series of murders in the heart of Patna. Is this Jungle Raj 2.0? India Today reports.
Armed gangsters enter a ward, murder a patient, and escape. No, this is not a scene from gangs of Wasipur, but the horrifying reality of Bihar in 2025. Captured on camera, the killers pulling out their guns, opening the door to the cabin, unloading their weapons, and fleeing seconds later. They killed gangster Chandan Mishra, a hardened criminal with multiple murder charges who was out on parole on medical grounds. But the police response has triggered even more outrage. Bihar's top cop claimed that this is the season for murders and crimes.
अप्रैल मई जून जब तक बरसात नहीं होती है ये सिलसिला जारी रहता है क्योंकि ज़्यादातर किसान को कोई काम नहीं रहता है। इस वर्ष चुनाव भी है तो राजनीतिक दलों के द्वारा भी इस पर ज़्यादा नज़रिया दिया गया है।
Union Minister Jitan Ram Majhi, instead of questioning law enforcement, blamed the hospital for lax security.
पारस हॉस्पिटल कोई सरकारी संस्था नहीं है, वो निजी संस्था है। वहाँ का क्या प्रतिबंध उन लोगों का रहा है उन लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। अब घुस करके मारा है तो किसी साधु को नहीं मारा है। आपस में गैंगवार का मामला है, वो लोग तो कहीं भी कुछ कर ले सकते हैं। सरकारी महकमे में सरकारी अस्पताल में रहता है, अगर बात होती तो मैं कर सकता हूँ।
अभी हम और ये बैठे हुए हैं, हम इनको मार देंगे, ये हमको मार देंगे, ये क्राइम है। तो आपसी विवाद है और आपसी विवाद के लिए घटनाएं होती हैं, हो सकती है कहीं भी दुनिया में किसी भी देश में होती है, लेकिन यहाँ कार्रवाई तुरंत होती है, गिरफ्तार होते हैं, घटना करने वाले लोग गिरफ्तार होते हैं।
For the opposition, the incident is proof of the Jungle Raj under CM Nitish Kumar.
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का क्रिमिनल डिसऑर्डर हो चुका है। अब ये बात एडीजी खुद ही कह रहे हैं। अगर ये कौन सा बहाना है भाई कि मॉनसून में बारिश में अपराध बढ़ जाता? ये तो पहली बार हम लोग सुन रहे हैं। यानी पुलिस नाकाम है, लाचार है। ये बयान तो ये दिखाता है क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री का इकबाल खत्म हो गया, गृह मंत्रालय उनके पास है, दोनों डिप्टी सीएम बेकार हैं।
With Bihar now fully in poll season, this incident is a grim reminder of how crime-infested the state remains, a formidable test for the incoming government. With Rohit Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Is Patna the new crime capital, if it ever was not? 116 murders from January to May this year, many of them high profile. One murder taking place in every 25 hours in Patna. In an election year, let's raise the question, Jungle Raj back in Bihar. The opposition this time has put the BJP-JDU government in the dock. Is there a free run for gangsters? Who will fight crime in Bihar? Is Nitish Kumar losing his claim of being Shusasan Babu? Guru Prakash Paswan is the BJP spokesperson. Anshul Avjit of the Congress is joining me for my face-off. Appreciate both of you joining us. Guru Prakash Paswan, for years when Lalu Prasad Yadav ruled, the BJP claimed Jungle Raj in Bihar. Now, when Patna is emerging as a crime capital, can the JDU-BJP government escape responsibility?
No, Rajdeep ji, we must understand that it was not the BJP or the NDA that said it was a jungle raj. It was the Patna High Court after a series of misgovernance, crime, caste massacres. The term was given by Patna High Court. It was
So the
people of Bihar
BJP,
who accepted
JDU
the term.
combined
And
used it in
2005,
every
Mr.
rally for a
Nitish Kumar-
decade. For every rally for a decade, you all said Jungle Raj in Bihar. It may have been first used in the courts, but that was your political narrative, your political slogan.
No, no, but you. No, we are not claiming credit for the origin of this term. And Patna High Court was essentially, it was a judicial process. The term was an output or a product of deliberation and series of misrules, series of caste massacres that happened in Bihar. But having said that, Rajdeep ji, we must accept and definitely, Mr. Nitish Kumar is identified as someone who has never compromised on crime, who has never compromised on corruption. And post 2005, if you look at it comprehensively, the last 2 decades have been the peaceful in Bihar. You see the per capita crime, the murders per lakh population in Bihar has gone down fundamentally. The murder average per lakh was 4.1. Under Nitish Kumar's governance, it's 2.1. So it's almost halved. But we accept accountability needs to be fixed. The incidents that has happened in the course of the last 2 weeks, each and every single case, Rajdeep ji, I can give you the action taken report. Arrest, encounters, inquiry, investigation. It is the topmost priority of the NDA government under Mr. Nitish Kumar. But we also accept that murders like this happening in broad daylight in Patna, it's highly unfortunate. But let me assure you and your viewers that it is and it always will be on the topmost mind of our leadership, be it political, administrative, bureaucratic or police. But we also realize that the person who died, the person who was shot at, has a criminal antecedent. He is notorious, but that doesn't discount. We are a country with the rule of law. We are a country with the constitution. We are a country which believes in giving fair hearing. But that
Guru
is
Prakash
something which can
Paswan,
be
these are all
discounted. But
fine
this
words.
person was
Sir,
of notorious criminal record
Sir,
and
I
of criminal
know what-
antecedents.
Sir, the fact is, and I have to go by data here, NCRB data for violent crime shows that there were 24,073 case of violent crime in 2005 when Nitish Kumar took over. It's now 49,610. These are the figures of NCRB. But Anshul Avjit, according to Guru Prakash Paswan, this is very different from Lalu's Raj. According to him, Lalu's Raj patronized criminals. The BJP is acting against them, or the BJP JDU government is acting against them.
There is complete mayhem in Bihar. I mean, there is hopelessness, there is despair. It's not just crime, it's just not law and order. There is education, there is health, there is investment, there is joblessness. Every manner, every denominator, Bihar, it's lowest ever. And you're talking about 20 years back. I know the BJP is really interested in rewriting history and vilifying historical actors and all. I just wonder, what are events that happened 20 years back have any kind of bearing on what is happening today in the killing fields of Bihar? I mean, this is the worst stereotype that has come along. I try my friends to tell them and dispel this image of Bihar as this crumbling sort of crime-infested place. I'll have to work much, much harder to do that right now because those
But this was no different. The
argument
that the JDU BJP makes is that it's not as if all of this happened only when Nitish Kumar was in power. You come with all the baggage that Lalu Prasad had in his government. There were a number of criminals who were given tickets. It became the criminalization of politics was taken to another level. Do you concede that, Anshul Avjit, and therefore
No, but
perhaps
what bearing does it have now? I don't understand what bearing this has in the current context. What relevance does it have right now? We are discussing the current state of Bihar. The hopelessness, the abject poverty, I mean, farmers, education, health in every sector, there's a downward spiral. The ADG, made a very bizarre statement about, normalizing it, some sort of seasonal cycle of crime. And, even Mr. Lalan Singh, who's a very senior leader, said, no, ye sab to hota hai. My friend Guru said that, no, this is on the top of everyone's mind. I mean, they're completely normalizing it. Do tell me if what happened earlier, indeed, if it did, weighed so heavily in the conscience of the chief minister, then he joined the Gathbandhan twice, right? What prevented him? And now why is the BJP supporting him?
That's a good point. Nitish Kumar joined Lalu Prasad Yadav. That time there was no Jungle Raj. Moment he leaves, he would call it Jungle Raj. Guru Prakash Paswan. Also, the ADGP of Bihar, Kundan Krishnan, attributes the rising crime rate in the state to monsoon season, saying most farmers do not have work. I mean, these are bizarre reasons, including Jitin Ram Majhi saying this happens in private hospitals. So, I mean, you know, whether it's happening in a private or a government hospital, if people are going to be engaging in gang wars in the middle of hospital, the government has some responsibility, some accountability. I mean, the Niti and the Chief Minister is absent, missing in action. No, the Chief Minister is rarely seen, rarely heard. Where is this Sushasan Babu of yours?
No, that's not the case, Rajdeep ji. The Chief Minister is on the tour, he is touring Bihar, and it is on his mind. But let me make this very clear, and you in your initial set of observation used a very nice word, state patronized and state patronage criminals, only a couple of weeks ago. And Rajdeep ji, you are a fairly senior journalist. You would know the monster that Shahabuddin was. Only a couple of weeks ago in a RJD convention in Patna, Shahabuddin ji Zindabad, Taslimuddin ji Zindabad. Who is Shahabuddin?
Yeah, but they are not in power. No, one minute. Guru Prakash Paswan, that's a good point, but they are not in power. Today you are in power. Mr. Paswan, if the RJD was in power, everything you said makes sense. Today they are not in power. When the BJP and JDU is in power, it's your damn responsibility to get it right.
You do realize the difference between organized crime, state-sponsored crime, state-protected crime, and unorganized crime. You do realize the relevance of it. You do realize that there are land issues in Bihar. You do realize that the underbelly of Bihar has this major issue of suffering. But the problem is precisely this: state-promoted, state-protected, state-patronized crime and criminal network. Your journalist, Ashok Karn, you would remember, he was kidnapped. Dinesh Dinkar, he was murdered. Siwan Doordarshan office was attacked. In Gaya, Hindustan was attacked. Mr. Gopal was murdered. Slew of journalists, list of journalists I have. There are names, Rajdeep, that shakes the conscience even today. Wife of an IAS officer, Champa Biswas. The Shilpi Jain case. Miss Patna, student of Patna Women's College. We have to make a distinction. But having said that, Rajdeep ji, let me make this very clear that accountability will be fixed. Every single action in the last 3 weeks has been highly unfortunate. It's highly unfortunate that the police and the administration has taken serious cognizance of it.
Okay, Anshul Abhijit, I'll give you a final word because Guru Prakash Paswan is insisting that the violence we are seeing now cannot be compared to what he seems to refer to as state-sponsored violence in the previous regime of which you are an alliance, the RJD Congress alliance.
Well, it's top to bottom. I mean, ordinary people are protesting now. There are teachers who've been killed. There are doctors who've been killed, shopkeepers, business people, convicts in hospitals. I mean, it's there everywhere. And the fact that the senior police official made such bizarre remarks was either because he's completely abdicating responsibility, because he can't do anything about it, because they've been over 12, according to one report, Rajdeep, staggering. I almost fell off the chair. 1,200 attacks against the police force. 2 ASIs were actually killed in Holi. So the police force cannot protect itself, and now the public naturally has no choice but to lose faith in the police force itself. And the police is directly controlled by the executive. There is absolutely no doubt about it. This is complete lawlessness. There is a social context to this as well. Rajdeep, one last point. There is a social context to this. When there is mass joblessness, when there is despair and there is hopelessness, crime does come. Bihar needs to be fixed and can't remain this broken state.
You know, the worst thing, of course, is all of this is happening in an election year in a sense, because then the political rhetoric takes over. But either way, as a friend just seeing the program has told me, watching those scenes in a Patna hospital, he's reminded of The Godfather and worse. These seem to be the killing fields of Patna. And this is not what any city, any part of the country wants to see. Guru Prakash Paswan, Anshul Abhijit, for joining me on my face-off. Thank you very much. Let's take a break. On the other side is our India Today Impact story. It comes from Ambikapur. Yes, our Get Real India stories are making an impact week after week. We'll be back in a moment and tell you more. You're watching the news today. News that makes a difference. Bye for now.
How is he always winning?
Gotta head some spin, never blending, dripping in, like so clean.
Moto G96 5G.
Eyes on you.
Hello, Moto.
मंगलदीप, दिल से करो बात भगवान के साथ।
मंगलदीप धूप कोन्स 2 गुनी खुशबू के साथ दे पूजा का बेहतर अनुभव।
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
Hi, here are the top headlines presented by Motorola. Army successfully tests Akash Prime air defense system at 15,000 feet in Ladakh. ED files charge sheet against Robert Vadra in Shikopur land scam. Mahagathbandhan slams voter revision, calls it undemocratic.
You're watching the news today. Now, just a day after India Today reported that a government primary school in Chhattisgarh's Sarguja district exists only on paper, and that too since 2006, children being forced to study in a crumbling, leaking Anganwadi kitchen shed. Authorities have finally woken up after seeing our story here on the news today on Get Real India. Earlier today, the district collector has visited the dilapidated school, suspended the village secretary and issued a show-cause notice to the block education officer. He has also approved the construction of a new school building and an Anganwadi center, directing officials to ensure the work begins without delay. It's an India Today impact, and I assure you we will continue to take up these kind of stories to raise your voice, stories that do not make it to prime time anywhere, which is often caught in the noise of news. Okay, let's turn to another Get Real India story. Branded foreigners in their own land. Over 400 Bengali-speaking migrant workers were detained last week in Odisha as suspected Bangladeshis. Among them, 19 Indian citizens from West Bengal's Shukrabad village were held for days without proof until documents sent by their families finally secured their release. Why should speaking Bengali make you a Bangladeshi? Here's a ground report. Take a look.
সে বলে নাকি বাংলাদেশি
আমাদেরকে বলছে তোরা বাংলাদেশিয়া
বাংলাদেশি তৎকালীন মানে আমাদেরকে আগে বাংলাদেশি বলছে
It's the worst nightmare one can suffer. Being told to prove your citizenship in your own country. Over 400 Bangla-speaking migrant workers were detained in Odisha last month. Branded as suspected Bangladeshis, they were packed off to temporary detention centers by the police. 19 of them were from Shukrabad village in Birbhum district of West Bengal. They were detained on June 25th in Balasore, where they had gone to work.
23 তারিখে যাই 24 তারিখে ফোন মারে যে তোমাদের আধার কার্ড ভেরিফিকেশন আছে ভেরিফিকেশন যখন গেলাম ওখানে আধার কার্ড অরিজিনাল আধার কার্ড জমা নিল তারপরে মোবাইল জমা নিল 25 তারিখে মোবাইল জমা নিল মোবাইল জমা নেওয়ার পরে সন্ধ্যে 5টার সময় সে বলে নাকি বাংলাদেশি আমাদের সকল ডকুমেন্টস আছে জমা দেখাচ্ছি প্রুফ দেখেছি তবু বিশ্বাস করছে না বলছে বাংলাদেশি তকমা দিয়ে তারা ওখান থেকে বালেশ্বরে নিয়ে গেছিল বালেশ্বর থেকে চাঁদিপুরের থানার আন্ডারে একটা ডিটেনশন ক্যাম্প আছে ওখানে রেখেছিল
তো আপনাদের কি গ্রেফতার করেছিল না
না গ্রেফতার করেনি এরকম ঘরে রেখেছিল
কোথায় রেখেছিল
চাঁদিপুরে
সেটা কি ডিটেনশন ক্যাম্প না
না ডিটেনশন ক্যাম্প
স্কুল না
স্কুল টাইপের
কদিন ছিলেন
9 দিন ছিলাম
কতজন ছিলেন
18 জন
হ্যাঁ তো কিভাবে ছাড়া পেলেন
ছাড়া পড়া মানে এইখান থেকে আমাদের সব ডকুমেন্টস গেলো মানে আমাদের ডকুমেন্টে কোনো বানিয়ে নিয়ে আসি ডকুমেন্টস আমাদের এখান থেকে বাড়তে ছিল ডকুমেন্টস এগুলো সব বাড়তে সব দিলে দিই এখান ওখান থেকে সব এই করি এখান থেকে জালো ওখানকে নিয়ে বলছে তোরা এইবার তোরা পেলি
আপনারা কি আবার ফেরত যাবেন
যাবো
ভয় নেই
না ভয় নেই আমাদেরকে তো বললে কি তোদের লাইফ টাইম ব্যবসা করবি তোদের আর কোনো ভয় নাই তোদের ভালো হলো যা রমে এ বললে
সরকারের থেকে কি চান
সরকার থেকে কি জানবো ভালো হলে ভালো মানে ব্যবসা করে খেয়েছি গরিব লোক এটাই
What followed were days of agonizing wait, as their families rushed to gather documents to prove the detainees are indeed Indians. Local authorities came to their rescue.
I have been already collected the documents of 17 people. Already they deposit me, and I already sent to the administration, mainly DM, and their original documents have been verified from the West Bengal government, and they already sent to government of Odisha. They have been already verified, and they have been proved that they are the citizens of Indian and village of Shukrabad.
After many days in detention, all workers from Shukrabad were released.
Migrant workers from West Bengal detained in Odisha, having suspicion of them being Bangladeshi nationals, despite having valid proof of address and identity like Aadhaar card, voter card and also PAN card, they were apprehended. Finally, after the intervention of the state government and providing additional documents, they are back home now.
Villagers say most men here go to Odisha and Andhra Pradesh for work. Now, after spending many days in a detention center, they face uncertainty. Was this a one-off, or will they face more harassment? With Tapas Sen Gupta, Bureau Report, India Today.
Human stories that hopefully will be addressed by authorities. Let me turn from there to something happier. Our good news today story. Earlier this week, stuntman S.M. Raju's tragic death during a film shoot in Tamil Nadu has reignited the debate over stunt safety in Indian cinema. With no insurance or health cover, most stunt artists work without a safety net. Now, actor, Bollywood superstar Akshay Kumar has been quietly funding insurance for over 650 stuntmen since 2017. What is Akshay doing and how does it help the stuntmen? Our Good News Today story.
Stunt artist S.M. Raju lost his life while performing a car stunt on the sets of filmmaker P.A. Ranjit's upcoming movie starring actor Arya. The chilling video of the incident that took place on Sunday went viral on social media. As the industry grappled with the loss of a talented artist, many are questioning the safety of stuntmen on film sets and the lack of any medical or life insurance for them. In Bollywood, Akshay Kumar has taken up the responsibility to provide this safety net to the action team. He has been paying almost 6 crore rupees as premium for the last 6-7 years to help provide mediclaim and insurance to stuntmen and their families. In 2017, Akshay Kumar stepped up to launch an insurance scheme for stuntmen. He started the initiative after a stunt master, Abdul Sattar Munna, lost his life in a road accident and his family suffered miserably as he had no insurance. That is when Akshay took up the task of providing insurance and mediclaim for these action heroes. Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, the Khiladi Kumar has sponsored mediclaim for about 650 to 700 stunt artists. Noted cardiac surgeon Dr. Ramakanta Panda, who operated on former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in 2009, takes care of the medical treatment and other requirements.
रही बात हमारे मूवी स्टंट आर्टिस्ट एसोसिएशन को 2016 में अक्षय भाई ने एक इंश्योरेंस गिफ्ट प्रदान किया, क्योंकि इस 2016 के पहले इंश्योरेंस होता नहीं था और उस इंश्योरेंस की लिए मैंने काफ़ी भागदौड़ की थी, क्योंकि 2002 से लेके 2025 तक अब तक मैं ही जनरल सेक्रेटरी हूँ। यही बात मैंने जब अक्षय भाई से शेयर करी तो अक्षय भाई ने इस बात को बहुत सीरियसली लिया और डॉक्टर पांडा एशियन हार्ट इंस्टीट्यूट के डॉक्टर पांडा के साथ मिलकर उन्होंने 2016 से ही हमें ये गिफ्ट किया, इंश्योरेंस गिफ्ट किया।
It is not just lack of insurance. Stuntmen face many roadblocks. One needs to pay almost 4 lakh rupees to the Stunt Association to get a fighter card. And people who evolve to become a master need to pay almost 7 lakh rupees for the card. Without these cards, no one is allowed to work on the sets. And despite such huge fee, no insurance or security cover is provided by the association. As for the pay scale, the junior stuntmen get almost 5,800 rupees per day, while a body double gets 14,000 rupees and an assistant around 8,500 rupees. Fact remains, many stuntmen are unable to afford health insurance premiums. Artists are urging the government to step in, provide means for proper training, and ensure safety measures to avoid any mishap while filming. Bureau Report, India Today.
Good to know that Akshay Kumar is helping stuntmen. After all, they are the real stars, many would say, of cinema in this country and indeed around the world. That's just about it. I wrap up the news today, but as always, stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar. May there be a better tomorrow. Fir subah hogi. Bye for now.